Thank you all. Welcome to the ninth Will Annual Conference, and always delighted to be here. When we say ninth, we mean that we've already done this for 8 years. And we already know exactly where we want to go and where we are today. It's not as if we're starting and we're going to take a dialogue forward. We know exactly what is the dialogue, where we want to take it, and I'm really pleased today with the way the dialogue is standing at the Will Forum. That doesn't mean that I'm pleased with the way the dialogue is standing everywhere else. There is a critical need to escalate the dialogue, and that is why we continue to hold the Will Forum conferences. The Will Forum conferences are held so that we can together escalate the dialogue. That is the most important word in my dictionary today. Throughout the day, I will keep on saying, escalate the dialogue for women in leadership. Now, the thing about escalating the dialogue is that where do we want to escalate it to? We want to escalate it to governance, to sustainability, to equal opportunity, to wealth creation, to distinction, to stature. All of these words is where we want to escalate the dialogue. We want to take the dialogue out of where it is being dealt with today, which I believe is not a key priority for either corporate India or the rest of the world, and to make it a board agenda. The advancement of women must be a board agenda, just like every other best practice, whether it's ethics, whether it's sustainability, whether it is profits, or whether it is just simply to do with the wellness of employees. It has to be a board agenda. Therefore, the CEO to us becomes one of the key components, being the only executive person on the board, for leading the advancement of women. And that is why today, when we will be defining the best employers, we will be recognizing the CEOs who have taken their time, who've taken their visibility, who've taken their commitment, who've taken their passion, who've taken their efforts, and who've taken their leadership to come over here and escalate the dialogue for all of us by being simply visible. Now, there are 500 million women in India today, and I keep saying that whenever you speak, please say that there are 500 million women. We can keep on hearing our Prime Minister talking all the time about 1.2 crores, but he should also say at the same time, there are 500 million women in the 1.2 crores. And these 500 million women make up 8% of the world population. Whenever I'm abroad and I say Indian women are 8% of the world population, everybody looks at me twice. And then they ask me to repeat what I said. And then I say to them, there is no way that the GDP of this world is going to grow at any level you want it to grow until you include 8% of the world population. That's the Indian women. We are representative of a volume in GDP which is greater than many countries put together. And I think that when you talk about the so-called empowerment, which is a word I don't particularly like, I think it's a word we have to instead use, which is called the power of women, not the empowerment, but the power of women. The power of women is 8% of the world population. The tragedy on the other side is that we never hear them speaking in any of the topics where I want to actually escalate the dialogue. We don't hear them at the Economic Times Awards, all-male jury, all-male awardees. We don't hear them at the Make in India Summit, all-male speakers, all-male juries. We don't hear them on summits for either of the development of any of our states. In fact, even when there is an inclusivity seminar, we don't hear the women. Somebody else is talking about including us. How does that work for you? How does that work for you? Are we really going to be a listening audience? Or are we going to escalate ourselves to be a speaking audience? And that's how you give voice to power. So first you have to recognize your power. This is for the men and the women, because the men are also citizens of this country. And we're talking about national progress. So first you have to talk about the power of the women, and then you have to think about giving them a voice. But the thing is, why should anybody give you a voice? You should have your own voice. Why don't you have your voice? Where is your voice? What did you do with your voice? How come we're not hearing it? These are the questions you have to ask yourself.